Imagine this. It's 1661, and you're Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister to King Louis XIV of France. You're wealthy, powerful, and indispensable to the king, but there's a problem. You sense you're falling out of favor. So, what do? You throw the most extravagant party the world has ever seen to win back the king's affection. Sounds like a good plan, right? Well, not exactly. Let's dive into the story of how one man's attempt to impress his master led to his downfall, and the timeless lesson it teaches us about power. In August 1661, Fouquet hosted a grand celebration at his chateau, Vaux-le-Vicomte. The guest of honor? King Louis XIV himself. The party was a spectacle of wealth and artistry, an elaborate fireworks display, a 7-course dinner featuring exotic foods like oranges and pineapples from the Orient, dishes never before tasted in France. The meal was accompanied by music commissioned specifically for the occasion, and the evening concluded with a play written by the famous Molière, who performed in it himself. Fouquet spared no expense to show his loyalty and devotion to the king. But here's the twist. Instead of winning Louis's favor, Fouquet's extravagance backfired. Louis XIV, known as the Sun King, was a proud and arrogant man who wanted to be the center of attention at all times. He couldn't stand the idea of being outshone, especially by one of his own subjects. As the night went on, Louis grew increasingly jealous and insecure. Fouquet's display of wealth and power made the king feel inferior, and that was a fatal mistake. The gardens of Vaux-le-Vicomte, with their geometrically aligned shrubbery and fountains, were so stunning that they later inspired the design of Versailles. But that night, they only served to remind Louis that Fouquet's taste and resources rivaled his own. The very next day, Fouquet was arrested by the king's head musketeer, D'Artagnan. 3 months later, he went on trial for embezzling funds from the treasury, a charge that was largely fabricated. In fact, most of the stealing Fouquet was accused of had been done on the king's behalf and with his permission. Fouquet was found guilty and sent to the most isolated prison in France, high in the Pyrenees Mountains, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement. His crime, outshining the master. This story isn't just about Fouquet or Louis XIV. It's about a universal truth. Never outshine the master. Whether in a royal court, a corporate office, or any hierarchy, those in power want to feel superior. They don't want to be overshadowed by someone below them. So how do you navigate this delicate dynamic? Let's look at 2 key strategies. Take a page from Galileo's playbook. In 1610, when he discovered the moons of Jupiter, he didn't just present it as a scientific breakthrough, he tied it to the Medici family, linking their name to cosmic greatness. Shortly after the discovery, he announced that the moons of Jupiter had appeared in the heavens at the same time as Cosimo II's enthronement. He even commissioned an emblem of Jupiter with 4 stars circling it, symbolizing the 4 Medici brothers. By making his patrons feel like stars, Galileo secured their favor and his own success. In 1610, Cosimo II made Galileo his official court philosopher and mathematician with a full salary. For a scientist, this was the coup of a lifetime. Second, if you're more talented or intelligent than your superior, don't flaunt it. Instead, make them feel like the genius. Ask for their advice, credit them with your ideas, and let them take the spotlight. It's not about hiding your strengths, it's about using them strategically to gain power. Remember, there's only one sun in the sky. If you try to rival its brilliance, you'll only burn out. Instead, fade into the background and find ways to make the master shine even brighter. In doing so, you'll secure your position and maybe even rise above it one day. This lesson isn't just from the 17th century. In 1500, Astorre Manfredi, the young and noble Prince of Faenza, was executed by Cesare Borgia after the Borgias seized control of the city. Despite being taken prisoner, Astorre was initially treated with a degree of respect due to his noble lineage. However, his natural charm, grace, and the affection he garnered from those around him proved to be his downfall. Cesare Borgia, known for his ruthless ambition and desire to eliminate any potential threats to his power, saw the young prince's charisma as a danger, unable to tolerate the possibility that Astorre's presence might inspire loyalty among the people or rival his own authority. Borgia had him secretly executed in Rome, reportedly by drowning in the Tiber River, simply because his natural charm and grace outshone Borgia's. In 1591, Senno Rikyu, the influential tea master to Emperor Hideyoshi, was sentenced to death after placing a statue of himself in a position of honor during a tea ceremony. This act was seen as a challenge to the emperor's authority and disrespectful in the highly hierarchical society of the time. Despite his previous close relationship with Hideyoshi, Rikyu was ordered to commit suicide, marking a tragic end to his life and his legacy in Japanese tea culture. These stories remind us, never take your position for granted and never let any favors you receive go to your head. So, the next time you're tempted to show off your talents, ask yourself, am I outshining the master? If the answer is yes, take a step back, because in the game of power, sometimes the smartest move is to let someone else take the spotlight.